If you're anything like me, you tend to go through, well, I'll call them Lego building phases. There'll times when you'll be really productive. You'll always have something on your table that you're in the middle of. And then there will be times when life or works or anything else gets in your way and you can't seem to get anything built. And during those times, what is it that you do to keep your interest from flagging? Hi, I'm Tom Bray since 1954, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of us who are Lego castle builders, we know that we don't get to see a lot of consistent releases coming from Lego to keep us truly engaged in the hobby. We have to improvise. And so there are times when, you don't have a new castle that's sitting in a box ready to be built, and you have to figure out something else to do in your Lego Fantasy Kingdom. Now, there are other ways, of course. You can go to other adjacent Lego sets that might fit into your fantasy world. I've gone to Ninjago. I've gone to the Oz sets, just something to keep me interested. Even the Harry Potter sets have made for good fantasy castle adjacent. But there are just moments, and I'm in one now, where I just can't seem to get anything built. And part of it is because I have a lot going on personally in my life. And the other part is my interest is flagging just a little bit. Now, I hope that changes because my son will be visiting from Berlin, and we have the Dungeons and Dragons castle to be built. And I'm really looking forward to that. And just probably building with him and just having that social experience will recharge me to get something built. But the other thing that always keeps me engaged is Pick-a-Brick. And that's certainly true now. And let me tell you what the latest is with me and Pick-a-Brick. If you've been following this channel, you know that I set out to kind of form a habit for myself where every month I would order $35, or as close to it as I could get, of Pick-a-Brick parts that I would use in my Lego Fantasy Castle world. And for the last couple of orders, I've ordered from the standard section of Pick-a-Brick because I wanted those new parts from the Medieval Horse Knights set and also the vending machine parts that came online. Now, I've paused that, and I'm pausing that for my upcoming order in February because I put in an order 9 days ago, and I don't have any acknowledgement on my screen within Lego and my account. I think Lego must be overwhelmed with these castle part orders from these new sets because we're all anxious to get them. Because I got an email back. It was an auto email basically saying, we're very busy right now. We'll get back to you when we can. So rather than place another Pick-a-Brick order into the kind of void that seems to be existing now, I've decided that in February, I am going to concentrate on the tried and true. There are still parts for the Lions Knights Castle that are available. And, I've long ago since decided that the Lions Knights Castle, which is by far my favorite Lego castle, will be and will probably always be the centerpiece of my fantasy castle display. So it occurred to me that it would be really fun to begin assembling, as long as I can, as many of those troops, of those Lions Knights troops, as I can. So in this next order of Pick-a-Brick, I put in an order for 10 of those troops, tops and bottoms, which are still available. And then I thought it was time to maybe I should start buying some more heads because I'm running low with all the parts that I've bought. So I placed an order also for those heads, as well as for the helmet. So I ordered 10 of those. I still have plenty of weapons, but I figured that I should start to accumulate some of these because they're there, and it would be really, really fun to just have a massive army of those troops on display for King Cuthbert outside of that castle when he eventually retakes it from the forces of evil. The other thing that I decided to do this month was to have a look at the shields that are still available. Now, I did pick up more of the Lions Knights shields that are still available for order on Pick-a-Brick, but I also decided to grab those other shields that hung as decorations inside of the Lions Knights castle. And I decided to do this because I can foresee a time in the not-too-distant future when it would be really fun for me to create a new faction or new factions and use those shields as the heralds for those new factions. I'm always looking sets that have parts, minifigure parts that make splendid castle figures, and just creating new factions. That's a really fun thing for me to do. And so I thought, well, let's grab those shields while I can and bank them for the time when I'm going to be able to do that. So that kind of rounded out this next Pick-a-Brick order. So that's kind of the latest for me. My son visits very soon. I look forward to kind of starting that set. And yeah, I have a bunch of unfinished, unbuilt things that I just kind of set aside because I was a little bit, just burned out with them. And I think the lesson in this, at least for me, is that that's okay. It's okay to have your interest flag a little bit sometimes. You don't want to go so full force that you completely burn out and you turn away. You have to kind of throttle the joy, so to speak. And Pick-a-Brick does that for me. It keeps me engaged. And eventually I'll go back to building those sets that I need to build. But for right now, I'm okay with where I'm at. And I'm wondering from you, and I'd love to hear from you, what it is you do when your interest kind of slows down for a bit. Do you step away? Do you just give yourself a break? Do you turn to something else that's completely new and is unrelated to Castle? That would be a good palate cleanser to build a Star Wars set, for example. What's your strategy for keeping engaged in the hobby?